Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 102 of my series in which I will try to collect a billion iron ingots. In today's episode, I am going to be setting up a little system in this building to produce some more iron ore, and I will be using the mod Advanced Generators again. Now, I've used this mod before, and I have actually used it to produce both EU power from Industrial Craft 2 and to produce RF or redstone flux from thermal expansion. Today we are going to be setting up a mass fabricator system similar to what we have in this building over here, except I don't think I'm going to import scrap, and that is because right now I'm actually running a scrap deficit, and that is mainly due to my upgrade of these reactors up here, in which I just upgraded these reactors to run on the Mox fuel rods. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. It's pretty cool. But anyways, this mass fabricator is eating a lot more scrap than I am able to produce at this point. So, or I guess helping to eat more scrap than I'm able to produce. So I'm not going to be using scrap in this particular setup. So let's get started. First off, for an advanced generator, we need several different parts, and we've kind of gone through this before. But right now, let's grab some of the stuff we need. So, for whatever reason, that is just not working out when I type in advanced up there. But anyways, what I need is... where is the controller? There. We need a few of these, and I'm actually going to build 4 of these things for right now. So let's grab 4 of those. We are also going to need 4 of these guys, and they just help efficiency out a little bit, as they say. And we also want 4 of these because these also help efficiency out. While that's baking up, let's get, and I already have all this planned out, exactly how many blocks of each type we need. Let's grab 200 turbines here. So we need 5 to be left behind. That should be a good number. Let's actually divvy this up how we're going to have this. We're going to have each one be 50. So essentially, if I just organize them now, then I won't accidentally place too many in one particular setup. We are also going to need, by my count, 20 of these. So I need 17 more. And that looks good. We are not going to be using the high density power capacitors today because most of the energy we generate will be used pretty much instantly. We will not need a whole lot of storage. However, I am going to throw in 6 of these in each of the setups, so that means I need 24 of these total. So let's get that crafting up. I also want 10 fuel tanks for each one, so I need 40 of these guys. Let's get that crafting up. And I really enjoy having a system that can craft a lot of things all at once, because that makes stuff like this easier. So let's start grabbing stuff. What else do I need? I need the fluid intake valves, but I need 4, and I already have those crafted apparently, so that's fine. We have those now. We don't need any redstone control with this particular setup. Oh, I don't have any of these guys, do I? So, okay. I have the turbines. I have the controllers. I have some of the extreme voltage emitters. I have the fuel tanks. I do not have the capacitors yet. And okay, so let's look at what we have from the mass fabricator side of it, or the industrial craft side of it, as it were. So let's grab the mass fabricator. Hopefully all of this is actually crafted already. I kind of started this before I started filming, so we have some of what we need here. So cool, we have our mass fab set up, and it will actually go along the back wall this time. Normally I have it along the front wall, but for right now we can have it along the back wall. We need our conduit underneath, so that's why I'm doing that. I have built a basement under here. It's just the standard Minecraft Phenom 08 basement. So let's set this up real fast. Just for aesthetic purposes, let's get modular storage here. I'm going to set it up on both sides, even though the side on the mass fab setup, or yeah, on the actual mass fabricator side will not be hooked up to anything. So it will be just for show. But I like my symmetry, so we're putting it in. Down here, I guess we need some upgrades real fast from Industrial Craft. So let's get those. Whoops. We're gonna need a few of these. I'm not sure how many. We're gonna need some of these. So let's start this out. Just to be safe, let's throw in 4. I know we don't actually need 4, but let's do it anyways. And I don't actually think I'm going to need any overclockers, actually. Because I'm not using scrap, this system will make UU matter quite a bit slower than my other systems. So I shouldn't need the overclockers. So let's grab some glass fiber cable real fast, because that's what we're going to be using here. Let's grab some fluiduct. And we can just use regular old hardened fluiduct. Let's grab a servo. Let's grab some covered cable. And let's grab a little bit more than just 15, because I think we're going to need more than that. Just grab an importer. We shouldn't need any acceleration cards or anything, because once again, this thing won't be running fast enough to make a lot of iron ore, so 1 at a time should be a good extraction rate for my system, my applied energistic system. We will need another upgrade from Industrial Craft, and I need an injection upgrade. And we can just grab this one and eject it to the... Oh shoot. All of that is getting meant by east side. So I'm looking east. I need it to be from the west side. So I need it to be, yes, eject to the west side. So that should be good. Let's throw on my armor. I feel naked without armor on. Let's see. So we have this. Let's go down to the basement real fast and start setting this up. I also want to grab some covers. So let's grab 4 of those. So real fast we can do that. We will need to dig out this for the importer. And let's see here. Right here should be good. Let's see, can I reach this from... it looks like I can. Cool. And I will actually need to change that cable out in the main aisle. Or I may need to change. I don't really need to change that, but I probably will at some point. But for right now, this uncolored cable is fine. And then we need to attach the servo over here. And this shall be always active. So once we start producing the UU matter, it will go to the replicator. One more thing. I need to grab iron ore. And... let's throw this in the scanner. It can't do anything because obviously it does not have power at this point, but that's perfectly fine. We'll get there. And then let's just make this look nicer. Boom. So we have the mass fabricator set up over there and the replicator. So let's see if the rest of our advanced generator stuff is done. So we have the 24 blocks. We have these guys. We do have all of the gas compressors. Okay, I have a list here. We have the turbines, we have the efficiency blocks, we have the controllers, we have the voltage emitters, we have the fuel tanks, we have the capacitors, and the fuel intake valves. So we have everything. Cool. So now we need the fuel, and we are going to be running off of the ethanol that we're producing over there. So what I'm going to do for right now is I'm just going to grab a black hole tank. In the future, I may actually link this up via some fluiduct. But for right now, all we're going to do is we're going to take this tank and we're going to steal it. And then we're just going to replace it with an empty tank. because this system makes ethanol much faster than this particular generator uses it, so that is perfectly fine. In the future, I could also add a lot more fractioning stills, because if we look over here, we have a lot of biomass laying around, so more fractioning stills would be a good thing to have. For right now, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so over here, and I just realized I'm going to need another servo and more fluid duct. And for this, I'm going to use the best version of fluid duct, because I'm probably going to need a little bit more throughput. So what we're going to do here is, these turbines are, by my calculations, going to be 5 by 5 by 3. So let's get started. The controllers are going to be here. I think, you know what? Let's actually add a couple more blocks just to make this a little bit simpler. And by a couple, I mean just one more block per turbine. And we can just throw in some advanced generators. So let's grab 4 more of these guys. That'll be the extra block here. And that's because I think I'm going to do the fluid intakes on the bottom here. So let's continue to set these up so we can see exactly what we're doing here. I think in the bottom right here is where I'm going to have the fluid intakes. And that means I can just kind of hide a lot of my stuff. Actually, I didn't even have to, oh well. I didn't even have to do this. If I would have put it, say, like up here, I could have the fluid duct all in the floor and have it all be hidden. But on the flip side, this will work fine too. So let's see here. Not exactly sure how I should do the exterior to make this look the best it can. Let's see how far we get by just placing these blocks around the exterior. Obviously, when I get done with this, this will not be hollow. But for right now, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to run a few short here. Actually, I might not. Because this middle aisle is going to be the voltage or the energy emitters themselves. I am going to run a few short. So, let's see what else looks good. I didn't mean to throw those. Come back. Okay, so these will be just vertical facing like this. If I could do one more turbine per, then it would be perfect. Let's change out, say, this block for how does this look? That looks fine. I like that. So in the interior here, we can kind of do anything we want because it doesn't really matter. We won't see this. So let's get to set this up. And after I get done setting up this first one, I can set up the other ones off camera. So each one has 7 of these. So I already have 1 down, so I need 6 more. Whoops, my goodness. If I could only be organized. I can't get out. I'm trapped. Okay, now 10 fuel tanks. And it would have been a whole lot easier had I just split that again, but whatever. Cool. And then the remaining 6 turbines should go on top. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the rest of the advanced generator setups exactly like this, and then I am going to be right back. And here we are. We have 4 completed advanced advanced generator setups, and these guys should produce quite a bit of power. What we're gonna do real fast is let's hook them up power wise. So this is a pretty simple process because I have everything lined up. Whoops. And with these extreme voltage emitters, with 5 of them per generator, I should be able to emit all of the energy that they generate just fine, which is fantastic. And so let's just do this. This isn't actually going to be the neatest setup, but whatever. And actually, let's throw in some compensatory torches here. Like I said, I like to keep things as symmetrical as I can. And by doing that, I can keep things symmetrical. And I should still have enough light. Okay, so now that these are hooked up power-wise, what we need to do is we need to give them some fuel. So let's go down in the basement and let's make sure we have everything that we need real fast. We should be good. That doesn't need... the scanner doesn't need transformers, and... Okay, there they are. And what was I going to say? The pattern storage doesn't even use power, so that's not a big deal at all. So let's set this up somewhere. Honestly, I don't know where to put this, because this cable right here is kind of cutting off the route I would use. Actually, you know what? Let's put it back here, right underneath this one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this go straight up. And then I could build it into the floor for the most part, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to build it like this. And then we'll do the same thing over here. I definitely could have just ran it over this way and saved myself a little of this flue duct, but it's not a big deal. So now what we have to do is we need to hook up this servo, and we should start seeing this drain. It should drain relatively quickly because these things are all empty. And as you see, this particular one is running, as is that one, as is that one, okay, so they're all running at this point, which is fantastic. This thing's actually, it's not doing too bad. It's doing a little bit better than I thought it would. It's still not great, but it's definitely something. If I had the scrap to spare, it'd be great, because I could throw scrap in here and we could get a actually decent amount of UU matter out of this. But for right now, we're just gonna have to wait. We need to wait on this to scan, and then what we can do is save it and set our replicator to it to make iron ore, and then that will get ejected into this and then imported into my system. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to wait on this scanner to finish up, and then I'm going to be right back. And here we are. Our scanner is finished, so we just have to hit the save button over there, and then we go on over to the replicator, hit the next pattern button, and we see iron ore, and we want to repeat run. So this will constantly make iron ore out of the energy we produce from this ethanol over here, which is pretty fantastic. It looks like our generators are full, so our run rate is, or our usage rate here is 17 millibuckets per tick per gas turbine. So we have, what, 68 millibuckets per tick usage altogether, which is quite a bit, but we do have a lot of ethanol here. I'm definitely thinking I'm going to need to upgrade my ethanol production system over there to keep this thing fed, but for right now I think this is a pretty cool system. If I want to in the future, I can build more floors in this building and then add a bunch more turbines to make more power and just feed this mass fabricator setup, and we should be able to make more iron ore out of this, so that's pretty cool. So in today's episode, I managed to set up this whole system over here, which is pretty fantastic. This should provide a little bit more iron ore for my system to convert into iron ingots, and that is nice. And as we see, it is getting imported into the system because that is empty. That makes me happy. As of right now, I have 907 million iron ingots, which is, of course, about 90% of my goal of 1 billion. If you liked this video, give me a like, and if you like my series of trying to get 1 billion iron ingots, subscribe to my channel. Signing off, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.